What's up, YouTube? I'm back, another video here, and my name is Oscar. This is my channel where I talk about reality, awareness, consciousness, connecting with spirituality, and finding your true nature beyond the conventional. So, we're out here in golden hour this afternoon, and today's topic is going to be an altered perception, an altered way of thinking and viewing your life from now on, so you can deal with insecurity, you can deal with your faults, and essentially just learning to lock in your everyday living your infinite potential and really connecting with your higher self, your higher portion of intelligence that knows all those big questions. And so to start off this video, I want to give you a little background about myself, my story, so you can see how a normal Joe or a normal person like myself learned to discover and to connect very practically with just intending every day to find the truth. So let's do this quickly, right? Because I want to get into the main topics and not get you guys too bored about my life. And so before, I had manifested an external reality of myself where I would always go out and party. I would always live recklessly and, skip school and go out and drink during the day, during a night, like 3 times a day. So this is a reality I manifested for myself because growing up, I felt like I could never go out and express myself and party. So throughout, a couple of years, all I wanted to do was party. So finally, one day or 1 year in my life, it all started happening. Like any party that I could go to, I would come to me. I had attracted all these opportunities. I had attracted all the people that were party masters, were party kings, right? And so I would always just find myself going out to these places. But while I was going out to these places, time and time again, as I started to build this new habit of going out, of smoking cigarettes, of drinking and indulging in all these material parts of who we are in this physical world, things started to feel a little sad within me. I started to feel a little insecure because I started to find out that I wasn't really connecting with anybody. That deep human connection that a lot of us crave, right, of bonding, wasn't happening. Every single party, I would have trouble expressing these true depths and concerns that I had within myself. I started to really analyze the psychology, the human behavior of all these people in these parties, and I started to see that everyone was wearing a mask. No one was really connecting out of love, but only out of pure material kind of entanglement of what can I offer you, what you can offer me, sex, drinking, drugs. So I started to identify all these things, and I was unhappy with myself. I was unhappy at the fact that I did not know where I was going, and I didn't know who I was. So that was the tipping point kind of in my life where I started to really become serious about finding the truth. I started to search up, okay, what can I do to find out myself? What is the subconscious mind, right? I started to do all this research, going down the rabbit hole. I started to learn about the third eye. I started to work with the third eye, practice all the methods out there. I started to change my diet. I started to see that my body was no longer happy to digest meat or cheese or milk. So I made a shift, right? I started to follow my intuition more. And then I started to slowly but surely awaken. I started to have these huge realizations and these supernatural, you could call, or mystical things happen to me. I started to see numbers. I started to see representations of what I was thinking inside of me become shown to me in my external reality. I started to see how I could actually manifest things. I started to see that there was another level beyond the level of law of attraction, and that there was a very spiritual side to who we are. And so, again, as time and time again these realizations started to happen and shape who I was, different plant medicines that I tried every single method that I could to find the truth. And altogether, everything that I tried started to unlock more and more of my potential and who I was. I started to unlock extrasensory abilities within myself. I started to see beyond just the physical reality of, you, me, regular food. I started to feel a deeper connection with my reality, with nature, with people, with the fabric of reality itself. So what am I trying to say by this with giving you this story and this background about myself is that throughout all this process, now getting to the main idea of this video, is that I realized finally I had an experience and a connection with my higher self where I really started to feel and experience this higher intelligent portion of myself, of my true potential, of who I really was. And what I discovered was the fact that that higher portion of intelligence, that higher self that's in connection with God, the universe, reality, that governs reality, picked and chose this body that you're seeing right now. It chose to come down here at this current time to experience life. Okay? This higher portion of myself that you have access to as well, chose to come down here. Your higher portion of yourself, right? In connection with all that is, with the highest power, right? Chose to come down here and to experience life. It chose the parents you were going to have. It chose, all the body parts. It chose the circumstances that would trigger certain events in your life. The lessons that you would learn from a young age. All these things. And it was able to see the bigger picture and how it would play out in your evolution. So, I started to realize this for myself, and I discovered my purpose. All I knew before when I was going to those parties was, maybe I'll be able to say, oh wow, that was that was a little bit of a stutter right there. But I started to realize when I was in this party, right, in these parties, that maybe I would be a psychologist, maybe I'd just be a businessman. But then, as I started to shift and to go within myself, to try out all the techniques and methods to find out the truth, I started to see and feel my purpose. I started to get visions and dreams about what I was capable of and what I could become. And then I got led to the right books, more magical, miraculous opportunities started to happen, as if I was being guided to something, right? And I followed that guidance, I followed my intuition. And then I realized that while I was here, to inspire and to shed my light, my unique message, so that the world can evolve into their highest potential. But you see, I didn't realize that before. I didn't realize that before my personal development and wanting to seek the truth. I didn't know who I was until I started this process. And that's the importance of this video and kind of what I want to convey. What I want you to feel and inspire within you. And the seed that I want to plant is that to really get to know your life purpose and live the most abundant life and getting all the answers to your questions, or the most of your questions, is by going within, to finding the truth of who you are, going beyond the conventional way of doing things. Because the conventional is obviously not showing us who we are, because then we wouldn't have so many insecurities. We would see through the BS, right? So, another thing I want to say is that all my insecurities throughout this process of not being able to express myself, wanting that human connection, right? I started to go out and try new things. I started to go out to networking events. I started to go out to sports events, just going out every single day just to meet people, just to talk and engage in conversation. And what I intended to do in each of these decisions that I would make was that I would be authentic and transparent. I would go ahead and be bonding with that person, even if I didn't know them. I would be nice and open to a stranger. Have a full-blown conversation with someone I just knew, I just met, and reveal all my problems and things that I went through. And what did this help me do? This helped me to uncover that other people actually create this connection as well. And that we have so many boundaries and illusory concepts around our self-identification and how we communicate with each other that block us from discovering and unlocking our true potential. So, this is another method that I tried, right? I went out and to engage in my world. I started to use more and more methods, and I started to realize that remember, that higher portion of yourself chose this body and chose to come here. So any type of, let's say, a physical insecurity that I had, vanished just like that. Why do I say that? It's because when you start to get to know yourself and you feel who you really are, and you realize and start to believe, right? Change your belief systems and realize that that higher portion of yourself chose to come here, chose your body, even if it has any flaws that your ego classifies as a flaw, right? Oh, I'm fat. Oh, I'm too skinny. Oh, I wish my boobs were bigger. Oh, I wish my, sexual organ was bigger. Things like that. Remember, you didn't ask your ego for permission when that higher portion decided to come down here and choose this body. But you could use this ego to navigate yourself through this process of self-discovery, to find out the truth. So like I said, all these physical things disappeared. I was comfortable, I was happy with who I was. Because I knew that I didn't get a say when it came to picking my body and the way I look. I didn't get a say in that. And it was all for a reason. Okay? So I want you to refer back to this. Maybe create a new belief system, right? Allow the seed that I'm planting in this video to blossom. So you can see your life this way. So you can start to see the bigger lessons in life. Focus on the more important things in life. And to know that you are perfect just the way you are, just the way you chose. Okay? Learn to accept who you are and who you are becoming. All right? So this is my story and how I started to find and discover this within myself. And now I want to let you know that in every moment you have that choice, okay? To view yourself like that and to also go back into fear. Because I was scared as well to make this YouTube channel, to express myself in this message. But guess what? That part of myself that wanted that deeper connection also wanted to explore the depths of who we are. But when I was going to those parties before, I couldn't spread my truth. I couldn't talk like this to a person at a party. They'd think I was crazy. They didn't want to talk to me. They didn't want to learn about who they are. They didn't want to personally develop and become their best version. You see, through social conditioning, you don't want these things. But if you're watching this video, hopefully you can learn to relive your life, become reborn in this way, to seek out your truth, to start to contemplate and connect authentically and transparently with people. Because now I feel comfortable speaking whatever it is that's on my mind, to inspire others, to share my unique message. Because guess what? If there's one thing that you have different than anybody else in this world, is you. You're the difference. And the same thing goes for the world. For the world to evolve and to change, it starts with you as well. Because you can spark that change, then it sparks another change, and then goes like a domino effect, a ripple effect. And then change starts to go and spread throughout the entire world. All the darkness and chaos in our world starts to be, overcome by pure light and love. And people realizing that they have access to changing, right? Or actually just becoming their best version, right? And actually striving for these higher aspirations of their true self, not the lower, kind of nasty, malintended indulgences that we take part in, the majority of society. I don't mean to sound too vulgar when I said nasty, right, or whatever, but I'm saying that when you start to strive for higher aspirations, you start to see the true light that everyone holds within them. You start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You start to see you start to see it past all your insecurities, all the challenges that you went through, all the hate that you encountered, all the negativity that you've encountered. You start to see past that. Why? Because now you have this higher perspective on life. You know that everything's perfect just as it is, and that if you want to go out and make a change, if you want to improve something within yourself, if you want to make a change to the world, you can. And that you don't have to be you don't have to take part in becoming overwhelmed with all the things you've been through. You can choose to be happy now. You can choose to be loving instead of like everyone else is behaving. If everyone else is having a negative attitude, a bad attitude about their day, man, you can be the one, even if you're having a bad day, to inspire that change, to show them the good in their day. All right? So again, if you're dealing with any flaws, any insecurities about yourself, know that not only did you choose things to be the way they are now, you chose this person to come down here on this earth, knowing that you would forget this life and who you are and all the truth, but that you can learn the hard way through experience. That's the funny thing. That's why I like to say, and I like to think and believe that our life, our world is like a simulation. It's like a game. It's like a school where we come down here to experience this life. And yes, it may seem very hard at times, but once we start to view things from this higher perspective, once we start to become objective and less subjective to our external environment, that we start to really evolve. And we start to live truly in alignment with who we are. All right? And that you can overcome any of these obstacles that may seem so overwhelming, so stressful, those faults and flaws that you have about yourself, those insecurities, just accept it as it is. But know that you can become your best version. And yes, it might take time. Yes, it might take practice, but you can get there. So I hope this video inspired you, allowed you to view yourself in a different way from now on, so you can navigate through your life more harmoniously. All right, so I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Like, subscribe if you haven't. And again, let's evolve. I'll see you in the next video.